Even Prophet of Most High God has signed it out for Tinubu to release the Igbo man is holding. Igbo man is holding. Nnamdi Kanu is not another savior, another leader of the Igbos after the demise of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. And it is God actually that sent Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu has been voicing out on social media many months, many years now. I am a prophet. Liberate these people, leave these people, set these people free. They don't want to. No, Nigerian government has gone more than that by going to what? Kenya land and remitted Nnamdi Kanu back home. Nnamdi Kanu went to court. He won 3 times, severally, over the case leveled against him. And the state of Nigeria refused to free Nnamdi Kanu. We know the truth, man. That's why I say, damn to all this idolatrous traditional worshiping of a thing, because we've seen how close Nnamdi Kanu is to God. Nnamdi Kanu is a man of God, the prophet of our time, the only person after Odumegwu Ojukwu that has come to liberate the Igbo nation. And here comes the prince of Africa, Biafra.
Do you believe what Pastor Onua is saying?
Pastor Onua is a prophet too, a prophet of Most High God, a Judaist. And his church is based in the southeast. The kind of prophet he is not like the modern day, kind of denomination, churches. But his own is based just like a synagogue. That's Judaist. It's based on Judaism. No, Christianity springs up from Judaism. So he's trying to sound a warning to federal government of Nigeria on, continuous incarceration of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, whom he said is a prophet of our time, that God sent him to liberate his people, I mean the Igbos, from their suffering over the years. Though Nnamdi Kanu, not only Prophet Onua, that is well, educated on this Nnamdi Kanu's prophecy of a thing. We, the Igbos, we actually have this song that has gone viral on social media, and we coined it out from 1967 till date. How the old Biafran soldiers used to, admonish, praises on Ojukwu, that only Odumegwu Ojukwu is the only, a savior, leader. They had then, they sang it, and Ojukwu actually proving to be the actual leader, the actual savior the Biafrans had in the past. Are you listening to me? That's holy, only, not holy, only. Nnamdi Kanu is another savior. You see how many years it took before Nigeria government went with military onslaught on Nnamdi Mazi Igbe, His Royal Highness Igbe Israel of Ahara Iku in Abia State. It took many years. They went on that onslaught, and that onslaught paved the way to the easier, for the easier demise of Nnamdi Kanu's mother and the Nnamdi Kanu's father. 2 of them died same year, if not, even if could be in 2018. It's just the same year, because barely 1 year of that military onslaught on his palace, the man, as a result of broken heart, because in Igbo tradition, if you kill someone on the palace of the king is going to go with that person. You cannot desecrate the palace in Igbo land, any palace, by spilling blood. It means you brought down the king himself, and is gonna suffer from heartbreak until death. Actually, that is what played out when military onslaught led by the former Nigerian president Muhammad Buhari on Nnamdi Kanu's compound. Exactly, Nnamdi Kanu's mother died, his father died. They followed the victim. Those Biafran children, over 27 of them that were shot to death by Nigerian military on a compound that is well known as a palace of Mazi Israel of Ahariku in Abia State. So what are we saying here? The prophet is saying the truth, signing his warning, but I know that the kind of people that surrounded Tinubu will not even read that letter or table it before Tinubu, but they will only tear it. They will tear the letter, because I know Gbajabiamila very insensitive. He doesn't care. Look at his poses, all his movement, all around Tinubu. He's showing himself that he is what? A demigod. But I know that God has never changed. God can never change. There's a way God has designed to deal with the humble. There's a way God has designed to deal with the proud. So the pride of Gbajabiamila, I think, is going to play out later, and God is the one that will prove himself. The prophet of Most High God has signed it out for Tinubu to release the Igbo man is holding. The Igbo man is holding. Nnamdi Kanu is not another savior, another leader of the Igbos after the demise of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. And it is God actually that sent Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu has been voicing out on social media many months, many years now. I am a prophet. Liberate these people, leave these people, set these people free. They don't want to. No, Nigerian government has gone more than that by going to what? Kenya land and remitted Nnamdi Kanu back home. Nnamdi Kanu went to court. He won 3 times, severally, over the case leveled against him. And the state of Nigeria refused to free Nnamdi Kanu. We know stories like that has biblical injunction, like what happened to Moses, like what happened to Samson, like what happened to Daniel. There are many cases like that in the Bible. So it has apocalypse. It is, deep, hard apocalypse, meaning. This apocalypse I'm talking about is Jewish tradition and Bible stories and the tradition. Any prediction, any prophecy that has come to pass in this present time has taken strong nosedive into Jewish apocalypse. So this is a prophecy, and this has to do with Bible. It has Bible injunction. It is biblical undertone. If Nnamdi Kanu still remains there, the man that called himself Prophet Onoha, the prophet of the Most High God, has signed his warning to federal government that Nnamdi Kanu is a prophet of Yahweh. Yahweh is the name given to God of Israel, the Most High God, Yahuwah. See, failure to release Nnamdi Kanu is going to spell doom to Nigeria, and accurately, actually, the doom is here. Never in the history of this country has this kind of thing been happening in this present administration without you hearing sign of military court martial music, military martial music the next early morning. Today, the military has been politicized. Nobody is doing anything about the current situation of the country. People are just like, nothing is going to happen, especially the APC juggernauts. It is not tickling them. It's not tickling them as in touching their hearts, as in, giving them more wounds, as in their conscience. I don't know what to understand. These people are conscienceless. So what I'm trying to say is that Nnamdi Kanu is a prophet. God has sent him to set the Igbos free. It happened during the time of Noah, when Noah was sounding trumpet to the people about the flood. They laughed at Noah. They made jest of Noah. And the kind of nations we have in Nigeria, we have many nations, Yoruba nations, Hausa nations, even their visitor Fulani, they will have no reason to take what the prophet of Most High God is saying. Rather, they will be knocking all his prophecy off, abusing and laughing. They will even threaten to arrest him, which of course I'm praying. If that letter got to Tinubu, Tinubu will try all he could to adhere or listen to the advices of the likes of the Gbajabiamilas or Inolas, Dele Alakes, Bayo Nonugas. They should proffer good advice, bad advice to him to go and arrest Prophet Onoha. I'm telling you, they should arrest him. I don't care, because I know what happened in the past during the biblical era. When Noah sounded his oath, Elijah sounded his oath, Jeremiah went into hiding, Amos denied his prophecy, lineage, prophetic lineage. Amos was telling his oppressors that time that were in the government in Israel that time, I am neither a prophet nor a prophet's son. So it's the doubt that is coming, at least politically, from the current ruling classes, that Onoha or Nnamdi Kanu are neither prophets nor prophets' children. So let me tell you, it has come and stay. The Igbo man must go, politically or otherwise. The time is here. Biafra has come, the prince of Africa. Not even Nigeria, not even Tinubu, not even the military could stop Biafra from emancipation. I'm telling you, the prophet from Onoha is the truth.
Okay, but he also mentioned that Tinubu, he mentioned penalty as death for Tinubu, refusing to release him. Do you not think just like Pharaoh in the Bible, do you not think it's that time Tinubu, and the federal government listen to what Prophet Onoha is saying, because he said the same thing he said about Pastor Orija Safo, the former camp president under Goodluck, and also won Goodluck, back then, but they failed to listen, and that's why Nigeria continue to remain the same mess. Do you not think it's high time Tinubu, finally, adhere to what prophet of God is saying?
And what you can even ask me is the current crops of politicians we have in Nigeria God believers? Are they godless or godly people? Are they people that are sensitive to quote God or instruction that comes from God? Absolutely no. If you could actually know the accurate, true personalities within Tinubu administration, you will know that Wike will not listen to God. You will know, of course, that Adam Ochomole will give Yabis and some jokes to the Most High God. Adam Ochomole will joke with God because he's a man that is out of his senses. See, let me tell you, none of them, Tinubu doesn't have heart of God. If he did, if he does, he wouldn't have said subsidy gone. Our fuel, crude, we have no reason to be refined in Malta, Middle East. He has no heart of God. We have political leaders that don't have heart of God. So listen, nobody is listening to what the cry of Nnamdi Kanu and what prophets are saying. No. Until God does what he has in package for Nigeria, they will never ever do the right thing. So if you are trying to believing that Wike will be a good man, Tinubu will be a good man, Gbajabiamila will stop from growing bloated and shooting his two cheeks out as if he fell into the river. Gbajabiamila will never adhere to anything prophecy. If you look at his movement, we found out that he has arrived. After spending many years in the House of Rep, it is never enough. His pockets, his account are never telling him the truth that there are limits at which you can acquire the wealth. Worldly, mundane wealth has limits, or else you end up acquiring wealth and they died all of a sudden. See, when God speaks, obey and adhere to what God is saying. Failure to adhere to what God is saying can only spell to what? Untimely demise. So what we are trying to say is that Nnamdi Kanu is a prophet. Whether Tinubu likes it or not, Adam Ochomole, Hope Uzodinma, all the southeastern governors, even if I'm Yoruba or not, Nnamdi Kanu is coming out free, unscathed, unhurt from DSS facilities. And then, again, emancipation of the Prince of Africa. Samoneba is doing enough job, and the job he's doing in Finland is spelling what? Tick-tocking, the noise made by hand of what? Time. Clock hands is tick-tocking as fast as possible for what? Heralding, making an announcement of emancipation of Federal Republic of the first black Jewish state, Biafra. So what we are saying here is that come what may, if anybody is not listening to the prophet of God, that person is not listening to God. We don't need a soothsayer to tell us this. Tell us the truth, man. That's why I say, damn to all this idolatrous traditional worshiping of a thing. Because we've seen how close Nnamdi Kanu is to God. Nnamdi Kanu is a man of God. The prophet of our time, the only person after Odumegwu Ojukwu that has come to liberate the Igbo nation. And here comes the Prince of Africa, Biafra.
I mean, at a point, maybe Samoneba was not able, to stop that arrest because the Canadian government is a sovereign nation and they have their laws and they have their rules. The rules, you understand? Using their influence means corruption. Using your influence to stop the law from taking its place, its course, means corruption. What is trying to tell you that that nation respect the rule of law. And what is the rule of law? Is stated rules and regulations on how a nation can be governed. This is not Nigeria. So they are going to follow that process, and it's not something Saboneba could stop. He would have stopped it, So the country is going to follow their law, and at the end of the day, what is required, at this point, is to support the woman, and make sure that she gets the best legal services, to defend herself before the Canadian court. Well, of course, every attempt, of course, the woman Amaka was invited, by the Canadian police, which responded. It was not arrest as we speculated in the Nigerian media. She was invited for questioning, on the process. They are going to initiate a court process in that regard, and when that is initiated, of course, there will be legal services that will be provided by the international community and other civil society organizations around the world, including the federal government in exile, powered by the Finnish separatist leader Simon Ekpa. We are going to see, a legal battle that's going to define the bilateral relationship and diplomatic relationship with Nigeria and other countries of the world, especially as it stands now in Canada. Canada, I believe, yes, is a civilized and cultured country who believe in the rule of law, who understand, the requirements of being a democratic nation and protecting their citizens. Amaka is a citizen of that country, and she has contributed ever since. If you can look at the history of that lady, if well identified that she is an Igbo woman, if you look at her history, she has never had any criminal record whatsoever. But we're just reacting to the burden of continuous attack of the Igbo nation, of Biafrans, by other races who fail. They have what it takes to make inciting statements against the Igbo nation and still go free, simply because this is a country where there is lawlessness, there's no democracy in Nigeria, where everything is just upside down, and because of religion and bigotry, people believe that I have somebody is in power there, I can go out and do anything at the end of the day and nothing will happen. Imagine a situation where a prominent king, Oba of Lagos, Akiolu, came out and told the whole world that he's going to throw Igbos into Lago for making a decision to vote their choice in a democratic setting. So what does that tell you?
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, finally, the Canadian government have caught or arrested, Amaka Sombega, and she risked a 2 years jail term, and they said if she's a migrant and she got a jail term of 6 months, that she might be deported back to Nigeria. At the same time, but if she's a citizen, that they will see to her case. So, but we've seen some write to the Canada government. Do you not think the Canadian government took ECPA's letter and appeal very serious?
That process, that persecution, or persecution, because I want to see this thing first of all as a persecution, because the way and manner the Nigerian government reactivated themselves against that woman compared to what we normally have here in Nigeria is very, very worrisome. And it gives you that the speed at which they alerted the Canadian government and at which they responded to similar issue that took place in Nigeria, where we have the Oba of Lagos, the present wife of the president, Tinubu, so many of them like that, attacking a particular tribe, single them publicly and be using derogatory words, threatening their existence and properties. Nothing was done. The Nigerian government couldn't do anything. But somebody reacted to overload of all these things coming from Nigeria. And the National Assembly, Abike Dabiri, and the federal government, they started using their diplomatic influence against that woman. But let me tell you, if investigation is going to be done properly, I'm telling you that the Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, was going to look at it very well, because it will be handled by the district police in Toronto, where the woman is being believed to have committed that offense. If you look at it very well, it is going to be something they are going to look into very well. And of course, the image of that country will be at stake, because it has attracted a global dimension where the international community, the United Nations, and of course the NGOs are going to look at it properly. They need to ascertain the root cause, because if there is no action, there will be no reaction. The woman was possibly reacting to continuous attack on the Igbo nation by other tribes. Look at the issue of Lagos must go. The Lagos media secrecy has never been unveiled. The Lagos state government have not done anything. But when it comes to one thing, the Igbo, you see them, marshalling out their weapons from different angles, using their level. But let me tell you, Amaka Precious Swabaga, nobody's going to do her anything, because one, she has registered her presence. It is not about poisonous mass killing or so. It is about what is already on ground. And what is it that's already on ground? The mass perceived hatred, and attack on Igbo race is something that is worrisome, and it is going from one country, from one place. It is spreading all over the world. So there's nobody in this world, in this country called Nigeria, does not know. There were certain statements credited to certain region, tribes, or race of this country.